I think we're all pretty sick of NBA rules discourse by this point, after a long season of toxic rules discourse, in large part due to the MVP battle between Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Nikola Jokic, which Shai won. And then it's gotten more and more toxic as the playoffs have gone on, as the OKC Thunder have advanced to the finals and then end up winning that finals in tragic fashion in Game 7 against a Tyrese Halliburton-less Indiana Pacers team. And there's this sentiment that I want to respond to. I want to give my thoughts on all of it in general, but specifically that this is not the time for NBA rules discourse. That the finals is the time to shut up and enjoy watching. Stop complaining about this call or that call or these sorts of things. And I want to push back on that. For one, because you can do two things at once, right? It's not hard. You can enjoy a game and also have some frustrations, or also just want to talk about something else, or even just think about something else. And for two, because I think the NBA Finals is the best time to talk about the rules. So on one side of whatever this is, you have OKC fans, plus Doris Burke, of course, arguing pretty fairly that these fouls are deserved. SGA is one of the best players in the world, and he is one of the best players in the world. He has incredible abilities that allow him to get all of these fouls in whatever ways that he is. He has incredible balance. He can move on a dime, stop and start whenever he wants. His ankles damn near touch the ground when he's moving somehow, and he has one of the best mid-range games in the entire league. The argument is that he is either being fouled or that he is earning the foul, right?
Now all of a sudden Shai got his rhythm back. He's feeling good again. He's getting to the spots he's so capable of getting, and as soon as he feels the contact, folks, this guy takes 9 free throws per game in the regular season. He's one of the best here in the playoffs. That is his game in a nutshell.
And on the other side is most other people, right? With the argument that there's a foul? What? When the Thunder are on offense, and holy shit, you can do that when the Thunder are on defense. To be clear, I'm not blaming any of the players here at all. They are at the highest level of competition in their sport. To be this good requires taking pretty much every single advantage you can possibly take. And to do that, you kind of have to stress test the rules. You have to see where things are, what is allowed, and you have to max that out to reach your full potential at the very highest level. When your physicality gives you an advantage, be as physical as you possibly can without getting called for the foul. I believe some of these clips here are genuine fouls, and I believe some are not. But all of these plays in the finals, and generally in the playoffs, involve a heightened sense of the rules of the game. The players are more in tune to that, or at least trying to be more in tune to the rules than they would be generally. The closer you are to that line between legal and illegal, the closer you can push every single rule to get every single advantage out of anything that even has a rule about it, the closer that your play traces out the rules of the game. And as much as I hate doing math, I promise it will just be this one frame, and it's not too bad. I think this is pretty similar. In this graph, y equals 1 over 2 to the x. The graph never actually reaches 0. The y value never gets to 0, even at x to 100, x to 1,000. But to an observer, they get pretty close to the point where they're basically the same. Some players will overshoot, some will undershoot, but they're all getting closer and closer to that line the higher the competition level rises. You can isolate any individual rule and see how it is being called and how it affects the game more broadly. Uncle Dane, legendary Team Fortress YouTuber and good engineer main, made a video about what he called trickle-down balance, that if something is balanced at the absolute highest level, that it is therefore balanced for every level of gameplay below that. Video games don't really need rule enforcement because the rules themselves are coded in, unless, of course, someone is straight up cheating. But in general, you don't move the 3-point line 4 feet back or whatever. You change a weapon's damage or change how much, say, speed an item gives you.
Now let's check in on what the base jumper looked like in the hand of someone who actually knew how to abuse its features.
You guys can actually try and hit him.
You are. Fuck off.
So what the TF team means by this statement is that this parachute caused way too many problems in the hands of someone who was using it to its full potential. So they removed the ability to redeploy it midair and reduce the air control by about 50%. Done and done. But did this negatively affect the rest of the TF2 player base? No, it didn't, because Joe Schmo TF2 pub guy over here wasn't doing this to begin with.
It's like literally impossible.
He was doing this.
With fairer rules and more balanced weapons, you don't need a rules change when you're losing to a specific thing that your opponent is doing. If it's fair, you can simply get better. It is, by definition, a skill issue. In this instance, with Shea against Aaron Nesmith, I think these calls are actually fair. Commentators call it putting your hand in the cookie jar to say that a player got greedy. He stuck his hand in trying to get the ball, taking that risk of interfering with your defender's space, and he paid the price. Now, this isn't exactly putting your hand in the cookie jar. It's not literally reaching into the area that a player is holding the ball. He's just hand checking the shoulder, but he is hand checking the shoulder of the best mid-range player in the game. Nesmith can approach the next play knowing what will happen if you try to reach in. He can be more disciplined and just keep his hands out and up to avoid that foul. Anthony Edwards ran into this situation this season when defenses started sending 2 at him, and he didn't really know what to do, and he got frustrated about it.
I don't know, man. That was a good brand of basketball, but it's not how I want to play, of course. I mean, I'm only 23. I don't want to just be passing the ball all night. You feel me? Yeah, at all. But the way that they guarded me, I think I have to. So.
I was gonna say, how hard is it to just stay engaged?
Super hard.
Yeah.
Super hard. Super hard. Super hard. I mean, because I'm wired to score the ball.
Ant got criticized for this, and rightfully so. It's not the best look to say that you don't really want to be passing to your teammates. But he at least understands that it's on him to get better if he wants to overcome this situation, that he can spot a double coming and make the right call, find the open man. The only cure for frustration at the level of a player who can at least hypothetically improve their game is to improve your game, is to get better. Frustration at the highest level, however, when improvement isn't even hypothetically possible, cannot be dealt with by anything other than a rules change. In this clip, Nembhard is trying to navigate a screen set by Chet Holmgren, and Shea intentionally makes contact with him. He initiates the contact. Nembhard is trying to get in front of Shea, and Shea pushes into him and then retracts back for the shooting foul. He doesn't get the shooting foul, it's on the floor, but he does get the foul. The only reason it's not a shooting foul is because he didn't gather in time. When you hear your dad or your friend or some schmuck on the internet, most likely that last one, complaining about Shea being a free throw merchant, it's not because of the box score. It's not because of what shows up in the box score. It's because of plays like this. This doesn't actually affect the box score in my mind so much because Andrew Nembhard is going to avoid contact in the future. There's a clip of him doing exactly that, just letting Shea walk right by him, not even putting his arms up because he knows that Shea is going to take advantage of that, take advantage of the very act of trying to defend, the very acts of legal defending. A foul called for LeBron, even when he's flopping a bit, will not so much as affect behavior, because you still have to stop him from getting to the rim. The way the rules are being called is not why LeBron is unstoppable. LeBron is what makes LeBron unstoppable. You would avoid LeBron because he's a freight train with such a combination of strength and power and speed. He's going to get to that spot first, and you're going with it. You avoid SGA because he is going to fake that contact. You don't even know if he could be stopped. The actual act of you, say, stopping SGA or failing to stop SGA didn't even get to happen. This is literally a strategy where getting better is not an option. This, by definition, is not a skill issue. It's a rules issue. And the thing is, it's true that SGA is only able to do these things because of all of his superhuman abilities. In a way, he does earn these through that. When he hits a player with an armbar and while driving and sends them 5-10 feet back, and Doris is just like completely enamored, I do to some extent, again, see where she's coming from. I do also think that commentators should have to experience an SGA armbar before they can personally comment on them, but that's an aside. Theoretically, if everybody else in the league had SGA's combination of superhuman senses, movement, and mid-range game, the playing ground would be leveled. It would be fair, and they're right. It's not too different from a defender playing 24 seconds of perfect defense on Curry, and Curry still manages to slip out and hit a 30-footer. You have the same level of input and interaction on that, which is pretty much none. Curry has the superhuman ability to shoot the ball from pretty much anywhere on the court and have it have a decent chance of going in, combined with having so much endurance and being one of the most difficult players to actually guard off ball, to chase him around 3 or 4 off-ball screens to track these plays, and only for him to hit you with a pump fake sidestep 3. So why isn't this a rules issue, even though players have a similar amount of interaction with this type of play as they do with SGAs? Why does the basketball community not move the three-point line back or start enforcing illegal screen rules? Because rules, in a way, are portrayals of the values of the people playing a game and of the game itself. Flagrant fouls being more punishing than regular fouls is a choice made by a league that values the safety of its players, that doesn't want games to be won by knockout. The NCAA banned dunking in 1967 because they were mad that a black man, Lou Alcindor, now known as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, was tearing up the league with it. 10 years later, the league reversed that decision because dunking is cool as shit. Why would you not want this in your game? Rules outline what we want the game to look like. It makes sense that we want to reward Curry for having god-tier accuracy, because as it turns out, shooting the ball well is a pretty fundamental aspect of basketball. Curry famously gets a bad whistle. He'll get roughed up when off ball when trying to get open. He'll take more contact than most without a foul when he's shooting the ball, and it still goes in. Curry is just a interesting player to watch. Full stop. On the other hand, why would we ever want to reward not actually beating your opponent, but convincing the man over there who's not on the other team, but is instead in zebra clothes, convincing that person that the team that you're actually playing impeded you, even though you were the one who created that contact? I understand that it takes skill to do. I'm not arguing that, but this is like infinite money glitch levels of legitimacy here. Don't get me wrong, the series was incredibly entertaining. There were plenty of super interesting games and plays and coaching decisions, but I'm leaving it ultimately disappointed because of all the things that almost happened, because all the plays, all the interactions that I was hoping to see in full got punished by the whistle. We could have gotten to see so many more super cool Pacers defensive plays on SGA, or even the other way. I would have been totally cool with it going the other way, with SGA being able to deal with this absolutely frenzied defense that at times almost looked like his own. It would have been amazing to watch him like weave fluently in and out of the paint without having to rely on the whistle, for him to actually make a play on the basket every single time he was going for the shot, to actually try to get the ball in the basket instead of try to focus on the performance of it all. But that's not what we got. There's no reason for a league to prioritize a style of play that punishes interaction, that prevents an opponent from even having a style of play, not even allowing them an opportunity to outplay you. There's just no point to allowing this type of behavior, and I think it's a big reason that NBA ratings are down, that nobody wants to watch someone just fall all over the... That was a test, a discourse test. I hope you passed. No, the real reason that NBA ratings are down, at least in my mind, is because it's impossible to just, pay for the games, pay for all of the games that you want to see. You can't just buy all 82. You have to go through this package or that package. This package covers this amount of games, that package covers that amount of games, and you have to Frankenstein your way into a reasonable watching experience. Meanwhile, illegal streams, pirating, is not only free, right, but honestly almost more than that. It is a single source for all the games. I can just put in a website and watch the game. Crazy. Anyways, the real conclusion of the video, the NBA has already done things to stop stuff like this in the past. In 2021, there was a whole slew of rules relating to non-basketball moves and trying to prevent people from doing things that don't make sense in a basketball context in basketball. Here is a accompanying video they posted to the official NBA rulebook.
This is an example of a non-basketball move where an offensive player launches or leans into a defender at an abnormal angle or trajectory. The offensive player, Darius Garland, performs a shot fake, and he then moves overtly and abruptly to his left, initiating illegal contact with the defensive player, Cam Johnson. This is an offensive foul. An offensive player may not launch or lean into a defender at an abnormal angle or trajectory.
Darius Garland isn't all that smooth in that clip, but sometimes Shea isn't either. Shea has had plenty of pretty egregious, obvious foul baiting attempts that were called as fouls just this playoffs alone. All the league would have to do is start enforcing the rules that they already made for this exact purpose. 'Cause this isn't fun to watch. Video over. Comment your thoughts below. If you liked it, like the video. If you want to see more videos, I'm probably gonna do a video about. Oh. 1 second. Okay. Oh. No. If you want to see more videos by me, I'm gonna be doing one about once a week about hip hop. Music in general, art in general, sports in general. We'll see where my brain takes me. But yeah, if you didn't like it, I hope you don't like the next one.